What's up, you guys? We are back. It is Monday, 7 p.m. You know what time it is. Run It Back is back in your life. What's up? I'm Suli McCullough. Ross the boss, right there. Well, right there. Sorry. If you don't know, this is a show for the die-hard basketball fans out there. If you love the game as much as the boss and I do, this is the show for you. So we need you to like, subscribe, just do whatever you got to do to be a part of our energy. We're both two diehard basketball fans. We're going to give you the real. We're not going to hold any punches. We're going to talk basketball as real ballers do. You might break a sweat just watching this show. And with that, I'm going to turn it over right now to my man, the boss.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ross the Boss, and I want to talk NBA basketball with you, cowboy. I'm excited to be here. The Super Bowl just ended yesterday. It's always like a gloomy day. The day after the Super Bowl is like a gloomy day, but you know why I'm excited? Now it's NBA time. NFL's over with. We're back to the NBA. Let's talk about the All-Star game. They scheduled a game for March 7th. The players will be flying their own private plane into Atlanta March 7th. And they'll be there for 36 hours. They're combining the All-Star game with the skills competition and the dunk competition. It's all going to be in one day, which I'm so excited about. I'm so happy to hear about it. It's going to be unbelievable. I'm sure that the gentlemen's clubs in Atlanta are excited too, like the Pink Pony and the Magic City. They're excited too, because when those guys come in town, it's always a party. It's going to be unbelievable. But let's talk about the All-Star game really quickly. So beginning of the season, Commissioner Silver said there won't be an All-Star game. And all the players were like, oh, okay, fine. We're not going to do an All-Star game. It wasn't a huge deal. They weren't going, they weren't upset about it. But now LeBron comes out. He's like, hold on. You said there's no All-Star game. Why are we playing it? You know why we're playing it, LeBron? Because the NBA ratings are not that good right now. People aren't watching NBA. They need something to watch that they get excited about. They want to see you and the other players play with each other. It's not really a game. It's a scrimmage. You guys, no, seriously, they do not try.
Wait, the boss,
what?
You kind of like, you threw me for a loop right now, okay? Like, first of all, you're saying there's going to be an All-Star game, and we should be hyped about that. And then you tell me that it's all combined into one, so it's like a mini All-Star game, which I don't know how I feel about that. And the first question that came to my mind, dude, was these NBA players are quarantined in their rooms. They can't leave their rooms and go anywhere. So how are you going to send them to Hotlanta, and have them
you're
stay
right.
in their room?
Do you really believe the players will stay in their room and not be at the Pink Pony or be at Magic City? Do you remember what happened last year? Do you remember what happened last year?
I remmer exactly what happened last year.
Lou Williams was actually on the training block right now.
Felt the need to get some chicken wings.
He went to Atlanta for the chicken wings at Magic City, not to see the women. But he said, I wanted to start.
And he hung out with my man Jack Harlow.
That took pictures of it. And all of a
sudden, the Clippers imploded. And you know how he got caught? Because he was wearing one of those NBA only face masks that you can only get by being in the bubble.
Right.
He should have brought his burner face mask. First of all, if you're gonna go to the strip club for the wings, you better bring your burner face mask. First of all right. I'm surprised he didn't wear his jersey.
I'm surprised he didn't wear his uniform in there. But that all being said, they are there for 36 hours. They're flying their private planes there. It's an event not for the players. It's an event for the fans. The fans enjoy the All-Star game.
But it's always been
they're dunking. They're having the greatest time. LeBron does not want to play.
Boss, hold on. I'm going to have to cut you off for a minute. Boss, I got to cut you off for a minute. It has always been a game for the fans, all right? It's a game for the fans.
Right, but LeBron doesn't want to play.
And it's a game for the pimps. Let's not leave the pimps out because the pimps
in there.
Love the All-Star game.
I agree. The women and the pimps are at the All-Star game every year. I remember it was in LA. It was like a spectacle. I loved it. It was unbelievable.
It's the Players' Ball. It's the Players' Ball. And that's really an unexpected bonus. Like, my first All-Star game, I went there specifically for the ball. And then I was like, oh, wow, there's pimps here.
Oh, yeah. There's pimps and everything.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
There's celebrities, there's pimps, but
yes.
it does. So when LeBron says he doesn't want to play, Durant
Right.
comes out. He says, I don't want to play. Harden comes out. He says, I don't want to play. Irving says, oh, well, do we really have to play the game? You know,
all right. Yeah.
And
so,
it's like they're all coming out. They don't want to play.
So what we're saying is it's a controversial All-Star game.
It's controversial.
All that aside.
And because they were whining so much, Suli, the league said, okay, if you don't want to play, we're not going to fine you this year. So go ahead and not play. We're not going to fine you.
So these players have the right to not play.
They don't. They just announced this over the weekend. The players don't have.
Now I got another question. Like the most important thing is who's on our All-Star team. Okay, we definitely got to get to that. But how does that affect the incentive clauses? Because some of these players have incentives where if you're an All-Star, you get a little more paper.
I think if you don't play, you don't get paid. No play, no pay, baby. They're not going to get paid. They can sit at home with their family and not get paid and watch the All-Star game like they
I don't know how I feel about that. Well, I don't know how I feel about that at all. I'm just telling you. Now, before we even get to that, dude,
the NBA
we got to talk.
Clear. They made it clear to They made it clear to the stars. If you guys don't want to play, don't play. We're not forcing you. This isn't slave labor. Don't show up. You're not going to get fined. We understand what's going on.
Right.
It's fine with us. But what I'm saying to everybody else is that I'm not saying LeBron owes us anything. I'm saying as a professional basketball player and being the voted the king of the court right now.
Yeah, right. LeBron is
for the league. He should set an example and show up to the All-Star game and play and just.
Well, let me ask you this then, Ross. Is it just as valuable if LeBron's sitting in a suit, courtside, watching some of these younger guys play?
No, people want to watch LeBron wear his uniform, do the dunks, do the alley-oops. I don't want to see LeBron, the businessman, sitting there.
No.
Hold on. We have a quick question, then we'll go back to it.
Okay. All right. Let's get to the question. And we got to get back to the picks because that's the most important thing. We're not going to solve the controversy. I'm really
upset with LeBron, and I know, and I just don't understand why he thinks that he's better than anybody else. He doesn't have to play in the game, but we'll talk about that later. Matt Kleiman, question for Ross the Boss, or RTB, we call myself. Do you think the Clippers will trade for a point guard? That's a great question. And actually, the Clippers made it very clear this week that Lou Williams and Patrick Beverley are both on the trade table. They want to.
Wow.
They want to send those guys bye-bye.
It's over. The Lou Williams era is over, is what you're telling me?
Well, they want to trade him. I'm not saying he's traded yet. He's on the table. I feel the Clippers are missing one key ingredient to win the championship. And tell me if I'm wrong.
Right.
I think they need a point guard. And that averages more than 8 points a game and 4 assists a game.
Okay.
I feel they're going to make a trade.
Okay.
And you know the Clippers better than anybody.
Right. Well, apparently not, because I thought Lou Williams was there to stay. Oh. And they're getting him at a bargain. But enough about the Clippers. The Clippers were power ranked number 1. They fell back down to number 2. I don't want to hear about the Clippers. The Clippers perform best when they're under the radar. So quiet to the Clippers. Let's go to All-Star picks. The All-Stars are bigger than the Clippers. So let's go. Let's start it off. Let's talk All-Star pick. That's what I want to get to. That's the big money.
Okay, so everybody knows you can vote for your favorite All-Star on NBA.com, which Suli and I both did.
Right. I've made my picks. I know who I feel is an All-Star. I know whether they play or not. I can't promise anything, but I'll tell you who deserves to play.
I want to let everybody know that it's easy to do. If I could do it and Suli can do it, anybody can on a computer or even on your phone
guys.
and vote for your favorite player. It takes literally like 30 seconds. It's a fun process. And basically we're going to go over each category with you, East and West, front court, back court, and tell you guys who we took, but maybe who you guys want also. And remember, the All-Star game is a popularity contest too. It's just not who's the best player. It's a popularity contest. It's people who you want to see on the court.
Of course, it's a popularity contest. It's a giant commercial for the NBA.
Yes.
And as fans, we get to cast the commercial. So let's get it started. Who do you want to see? And also you need to vote too. Like if you disagree with our picks, that's fine. I want to hear from you. Tell me who you think should be an All-Star. And with that, let me hear what you got to say, boss. Break it down.
So let's start with the backcourt in the East.
Okay, we're going
backcourt in the East, Suli.
Uh-huh.
My
Backcourt.
my top guy right now in the East backcourt. I know his team is playing horribly. I think they're in last place, but I'm taking Beal for Washington. I just feel he's averaging 37 points a game, and he's playing unbelievable. And I kind of feel sorry for him. He's signed this huge contract. I know you're like, Ross, why are you feeling sorry for somebody who signs a huge contract? Well, I feel sorry for him because when he signed that contract, they promised him that he would have a team that will compete. And obviously,
I think they tried to do a little something bringing Westbrook in, but that hasn't quite worked out yet. I'm going to say your Bradley Beal pick is right on the money because I also picked Bradley Beal the real deal. I did not hold it against him that his record isn't good because that dude competes every night. And
every night. And I feel bad
the boss, keep in mind, this dude is an undersized guard, okay?
He is.
For a two guard, he's supposed to be about 3 inches taller, but that does not affect.
Right.
I know he's a two guard. I'm saying for a two guard, he's got to be what, 6'3" at best?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be 6'6" or better. So Bradley Beal, you have no argument from me. I am with Bradley Beal as your pick for Eastern guard. Fine. Keep going.
My next starting guard for the East this year is going to be Kyrie Irving for Brooklyn.
Whoa.
Whoa. When Kyrie is playing.
You're going with Uncle Drew.
I'm going with Uncle Drew. It's funny you said that.
Okay.
It's hilarious. So Uncle Drew or Kyrie Irving, he's my second pick. I feel that starting backcourt of Irving and Beal. Woo,
yes. Yeah.
That's going to be hard to deliver. But
that's firepower.
Obviously you don't agree with me. Who's your second guy?
As much as I know the fans want to see Kyrie, right? And Kyrie's electric. He's incredible. The things that he can do with a basketball, it's wondrous, all right? But my pick, and here's where we differ, I went with Ice Trae Young as my pick.
I like Trae Young a lot. I have him as a reserve. He's my third one. If you guys like what we're talking about, please comment below. Put your picks on below. I'll say who you guys like.
Well, let me give you a little something more because we can't just you kind of shook your head at that, and I'm going to tell you why I picked Ice Trae over Kyrie.
Tell me why.
First of all, Ice Trae didn't disappear for upwards of a week and a half. Okay? And I think that counts for something. That's right there on the level of rest management, and you know what I mean? Like, I get it. You got stuff going on in your life, and you got to attend, your family members' functions without a mask, but that's got to count for something. And I think that's why that makes him still an all-star, but coming off the bench.
No, I like Trae Young.
Let's reward
he's
Trae
27.
Young.
He's 27 points a game, 9 assists a game,
right.
7 rebounds a game.
Right.
That's what he's averaging right now.
Right.
He's definitely up there, Sully. It's just who you prefer. It's a popularity contest.
Without him, if you take Ice Trae off the Hawks, what do you have? You have a team that is
horrible.
Is not even worth watching on TV.
No,
okay,
no, horrible.
You take Kyrie Irving off the Nets. You still have 2 all-world max money players.
That's great. I love it.
Jerseys and have their own sneakers.
So
that's why I go Ice Trae.
My next pick, you're love.
Okay, all right.
My next pick, you're love.
And if the All-Star game is in Atlanta, who better than to represent Atlanta and the Hawks than Ice Trae? There you have it.
Sully, we have to stop the conversation right now. You know why?
Okay, why is that?
Killcliff, our sponsor, wants to run a commercial real quick. If you need energy,
we've only got two picks,
with no sugar, this is a drink for you. Killcliff commercial, let's run it.
All right.
Buy any case of Killcliff the Clean Energy Drink and get a free rocket-powered rocket ship. Go to killcliff.com. Offer valid on every planet except Earth. No need to apply for the rocket ship, unless you really want a rocket ship, in which case we might know a guy from South Africa. Rocket ships are so hot right now. They're really fast and cool, but the maintenance is outrageous. Kind of like a boat, but 100 times worse. And we're not even sure if a rocket ship floats. And that doesn't even count the insurance, which is a total racket anyway, and good luck finding a place to park it. Killcliff, created by Navy SEAL, for people who aren't Navy SEALs. The biggest no-brainer in the history of drinks.
Yeah. Sully, I'm going to mention a guy that you will love as my fourth pick. He went to UCLA. He plays for the Chicago Bulls.
Love it already.
Zach LaVine. So,
wow. You're going to give Zach some love.
So, I feel he's having an unbelievable year. He's averaging 25 points a game, 8 assists a game, 7 rebounds. He's unbelievable. He's my fourth. I don't know where you have him on yours, but I think
you know what? I can't go Zach LaVine, even though he's a Bruin. I'm throwing a weird curve, episode 3. I got to go with Jaylen Brown. I'm going to go with Jaylen Brown. That just seems like a stronger pick. I think he's a two-way player, and Zach LaVine still doesn't play defense, so I'm going with Jaylen Brown over Zach LaVine.
Okay, there's somebody we haven't mentioned that's always an all-star that always starts, but I don't have him starting this year, is James Harden. I know his off-season antics wasn't the greatest, but I'm throwing Harden at least in the reserve, at least to be on the reserve team. I want to see the beard. I want to see him out there playing. I love watching him pass. I love watching him shoot. He's actually unbelievable with assists. He's averaging like
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay,
as a reserve player, no problem. He scores too much at a highest clip, so let's go for it.
And then Colin Sexton, I like him a lot. I don't know where you have him.
Well, hold on. Before we go to Colin Sexton, we've got a question from Sam Jakowitz. And he says, do you guys think Ben Simmons is overrated? This is an excellent question, Zach. I'm going to say, first of all, last year I would probably say yes. If we were going based on last year's season, the dude underdelivered for the hype that he has and the fact that he's dating a Kardashian. He should really be giving me more production. You know what I mean? Like when you're dating a Kardashian, you're an A-list player and you need to be showing me something. I think this year he's playing a little better. His shot is still in question, but I think he's running the team. Embiid has picked his numbers up. So I think he's about where he should be. I do want to see him take his game up to another level.
I think he does take his game to another level. When the B doesn't play, I notice Simmons has like unbelievable numbers. I mean, he takes the slack and he becomes like the man on the team instead of Embiid, we'll talk about him in a second. But Simmons, I feel, is good. I don't think he's overrated at all, like you said.
Do you think he's an all-star?
Not this year, no. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
I don't know.
So some more names I want to throw out there. Then we'll go to the front court.
Okay.
Michael Westbrook. Not an all-star.
You mean
Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook.
Yes.
If Michael Westbrook made the all-star team, that would be phenomenal. That's a brother we don't know about that doesn't play in the NBA.
No, he doesn't. But Russell Westbrook, the Bruin, I mix those up all the time.
Do you have him as an all-star?
I don't. I really don't this year, and I like him a lot.
No.
I really do. And then another guy I like from Toronto, I just want to throw out there is Van Fleet. Van Fleet's been throwing up threes like crazy this year. And
he went for 54 the other night,
yeah,
right?
I mean, I don't think he makes the team. I wish he would, unless you disagree with me. But Van Fleet's somebody I just want to mention.
Do you at least have him in the skills competition? Maybe that's a great guy to have in the skills competition. Yes. Not quite an all-star, competition, but for an undrafted player that is putting up numbers like that, I do like his heart. I think that dude is pretty incredible. So I'd put him in the skills game, not as an all-star.
I agree 100%. Let's talk about the forwards now. The forwards and centers.
Okay. All right. Moving on to forwards.
So, my number one is Durant. Kevin Durant.
KD, Slim VP.
And what's your opinion? Does Durant start on your starting three for the All-Star?
Absolutely.
Just making sure. I want to ask.
Look, this is how much.
I don't know what you're doing right now.
Wait. Hey, boss, this is how much Durant starts on my team.
Go.
He could play with COVID or not, okay? That's how good that guy's been playing.
We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that subject later. I do want to talk about that with you. So my second one is Embiid. He's actually in the MVP race.
Yes.
And he's my center. He's playing great this year.
Can I tell you something, the boss? And this is a hot little take that you may not know about me.
Yeah.
I am one of those guys that has been thoroughly disappointed in Embiid up until this year. I always felt like this guy had so much hype. He believed his own hype, and he never quite lived up to the potential. Like, I put him in the same category as Dwight Howard when he played with the Lakers the first time around.
Yeah.
Like a dude that, all right, we're going to give you everything and make you the man, and he decided, I don't really want to be the man, okay? So then he went to Houston and did his thing there, and it wasn't quite what it needed to be. That's exactly what I thought of Joel Embiid. I
Okay.
thought, oh, this guy's great on social media. Do it in a game.
So
But this year, Embiid is no question a first-team All-Star. And
you have a
I
first team-
have to admit that I was wrong and was a little harsh on him.
So you heard it here
Embiid,
first.
yes.
Sully admits that he was wrong with Embiid.
Right.
I agree with Sully. I think he could be MVP this year, actually, if Philadelphia has the best record in the East.
I think that's going to be tough.
I think there's a great chance to be MVP. We'll see what happens.
He's going to be in the running.
So the other starter I have is Greek. There's the Greek Freak. I don't know what you think about him starting, but I'm throwing him in as my starter, just because
I think you have to have the Greek Freak
kid
as a starter. He's playing well enough.
Okay.
The Bucks, they'll give up a few games here and there, but his numbers are incredible. He's a dominant force. He's a legitimate star of stars in a league full of stars. So, yeah, no problem. I'm with that.
Here's some reserves.
Go ahead.
So we have our starting three. So we're done.
Right.
But here's some reserves. Jason Tatum.
Okay.
Thoughts? He's a reserve.
Okay.
Randall.
I love Jason Tatum's game. I love it when
he's
Kimba
23
was
years
hurt.
old.
Yes, he's a young player. He's
Unbelievable.
got let me tell you something, boss. He's got a plethora of moves, all right? And that's a word I don't normally use, all right?
I don't like the Celtics, but I like watching the
moves.
Celtics play when he's playing. I love watching him play.
He's a baller.
His game is great.
He can create his own shot. His step back is nasty. I love his Jordan PEs. So just as a sneaker collector, I feel a connection there. That dude deserves to be right there. He's right there. Not quite a starter, but definitely a reserve.
I like Randall for the Knicks. I think he deserves to be an All-Star this year.
Okay. I don't have a problem with that.
I don't know what your thoughts are.
I think he's definitely picked his game up. He might be most improved this year, actually. He's in the running for most improved, so you got to reward that.
Yeah, of course he's the next Laker too.
Yeah. Randall, I don't have a problem with Randall.
I love the center for Orlando, which I can't pronounce his last name. Vicatorius?
Visavis?
Yeah. Visavis for Orlando. Close enough.
I just made that up.
But his first name is Nicholas. I know his first name's Nicholas. He's having a great year.
I tried to say Vichyssoise, but in a cool way. Like
it's a Russian name. It's his first name. Just call him Nicholas. It's his first name. But
yes.
He's having a great season.
Russian
I have him as a backup too.
Okay.
And basically, those are my backups for the East.
Okay.
This year.
I think that's about right. I need to pay attention to that dude. I don't know his game.
Unbelievable. He's great.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check him out.
So let's talk about the West real quick.
Okay,
Western
we're going
starting
to the
backcourt.
West Coast.
So I don't know if you agree with this. My number one, Damian Lillard.
Whoa.
Let me hear
You're really trying to bring some controversy week 3, right?
My number 2 is Steph Curry.
Whoa, dude. First of all,
go.
I think you need to reverse that.
It's okay.
You need to definitely reverse that. And I'll tell you why. I'm putting it on one game. There was a game that the Warriors played the Portland Trailblazers in Oakland, which is Dame Lillard's hometown, and Steph Curry gave him a measly 62 points.
What year was this year?
That was this year. Steph's high number gave it to Dame. And Dame is a dude that will give you that fire, right? He's going to come at you.
Dame's a rapper.
But
He's a great rapper. He's one of the best rappers I've ever heard in my life.
Rapping has nothing to do when you're going head-to-head against Steph, okay?
I want to hear him rap
Steph gave him buckets, and Dame Dollar bowed down and was like, okay, this dude got game. So I would reverse that. I've got Steph Curry as my starting guard.
And I put Luka as a reserve just because Dallas is a 14th seed.
Whoa.
I don't know who to pick. You have 3 guys. Luka, Dillard, you have Dame, you have Steph Curry, and you have Luka. Out of those bench, tell me who you don't start.
You know what?
Go.
See, here's the thing.
Who do you think
have Luka as a starter just because he's putting up good numbers.
I'm not arguing.
Like if you're going to pick Bradley Beal, which we both agree on, I think you have to also give Luka that same little love that we're giving to Bradley Beal. So I have Steph at the 1, Luka at the 2, and then we can move on.
Ooh. Another guy that gets really no press because he plays in such a small market is Mitchell for Utah.
Oh yeah, Donovan Mitchell. Well, their record's good. Donovan Mitchell is a player. I think he's like a reserve, but not a starter. Not a starter.
That's fine. These are non-starters. Another non-starter, one of my favorite players now, De'Aaron Fox.
Whoa, okay. Giving the Sacramento Kings a little love.
Sacramento, we'll talk about that a little later.
Yeah, okay.
But De'Aaron Fox, he had a great tweet. He actually tweeted, he said, I'll play in the All-Star game because I don't want to be fined. But now they're not finding NBA police anymore. But he actually said it's like an honor to be on the team. So he was the
Which you're supposed to say that. He's very early on in his career.
Now another guy, I want to get your opinion on this.
Okay,
Jay Morant. John Morant was hurt.
You don't call Tupac, do you?
I probably do. so John Morant, Sully, was out more than half the season. I mean, he's been out.
Yes, he's been out for a little bit, but he has come back. He's got that team sort of back on track.
But is he on your All-Star team?
No, he's not. I think he's on the outside looking in. But that's another guy I would definitely have in the skills competition, though.
And Chris Paul, what do you do with?
I would say no to Chris Paul just because I want the Suns' record to be a little bit better. But that's no hate on Chris Paul. I'm a big Chris Paul fan.
That's fine.
I just don't think that he's
I love Chris Paul, and I just think I got to see him on the bench at the All-Star game.
Right,
right. You know, he's
so you're just saying out of respect at this point.
Respect,
in his career,
and it's just like you want to see Harden, you want to see the Pauls, you want to see the Jameses,
right?
You want to see Durant, you want to see these guys.
You want to see the elite guys.
I do really do. I really.
Game. Yeah. If we're gonna have a game where guys can sit out,
I do.
You want to see.
So let's talk front court NBA.
Okay.
Western Conference.
Okay, there's no brainers in the front court.
My number one guy, we talked about him last week. He's probably the slowest guy in the league.
You love this guy.
He's probably the most out of shape guy I've ever seen play basketball. I don't know how he's no muscle tone. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I know exactly where you're going with
this.
But
I love
looks
Jokic.
Like he eats ice cream on the bench.
And he's actually lost weight this year, and he's actually on a special diet. So I want to say that too. I don't want to just kill the guy.
You just don't want to disparage the dude. But when you look at him, and if, like, say you were having a pickup game at the Y, and you looked at a bunch of players, and you were like, I guess I'll take that guy. You're not going to be like, I'm taking that guy.
So we're talking about Jokic for the Denver Nuggets. Jokic, he had 50 points the other night. He's averaging like 11 assists. He's leading the league in assists. I mean,
his highlight package is super slow, but it's super effective.
It's fun to watch. I mean, if you get to watch the Nuggets, make sure you watch him play.
Where he uses all his body and gets his little layups.
He's unbelievable. He's my number one.
Okay, no problem right there. You want to see Jokic match up against Embiid. Hopefully, those guys both play in the All-Star game because you want to see that. Okay, go ahead.
Number two, you better not. You're not going to, but you're going to love this guy. Kawhi Leonard's my number two.
Okay,
Kawhi's having a great season. There's no load management this year. He's playing every game. He's unbelievable. He's playing the games.
Well, I do agree with you there. I do think Kawhi is an All-Star. First team All-Star.
First team.
And for sure. No question. Okay. So those
LeBron
two
James.
I agree with.
LeBron James.
Never heard of him. Of course LeBron James is an All-Star. LeBron James in year 18, the things that he's doing. Did you see the game that went to double overtime? LeBron hit 2 step-back threes, and he went to the bench and verbally said to his team, I quit. He said, I can't do any more. Just like Barry Sobel's old bit back in the day. You remember that classic Barry Sobel's bit where he said, I can't do no more. That was LeBron James.
And that dude, I remember. But LeBron actually said during that game, he said that he didn't want to go triple overtime because he wanted to go back home and drink wine. Yeah. He loves drinking wine after the game, and he wanted to go back. And he said if he played a third overtime, he would have had a heart attack, which he wouldn't have a heart attack. The guy's an unbelievable shape. He just wanted to get the game done. And they went to double overtime with the Detroit Pistons, which is unbelievable. We beat them last week. It was unbelievable. So my fourth guy, you're going to love this. He's having the best year, I think, of his career. He's playing unbelievable, but he's hurt, is Paul George.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think Paul George is definitely a reserve on the All-Star West team. He's actually, you could argue that he's put up bigger numbers than Kawhi Leonard.
There you go.
Except for the games that he was hurt.
Yes, of course.
So, yeah. I mean,
Paul George,
after everything bad that happened we all know about it. We don't have to go
back
to that. but
Yes.
he has stepped up his game and he's delivered. So
the next
I have
one is
no problem with that.
I know his numbers aren't inflated like they should be, but they will be. But somebody that I want to see on the court playing because I love this kid is Zion Williamson. Zion, I want him on the All-Star team. You're going to argue with me, but remember, it's a popularity contest too.
Actually, dude, I am not going to argue with you on that.
Oh, I thought for sure you go after me on that.
No way, dude. I actually think if we're going to do this All-Star game in Atlanta, we might as well have Zion because part of what the All-Star game is capturing a young superstar and watching him blossom on the big stage. And what better opportunity than to have Zion Williamson come to Atlanta and put on a show.
I agree.
So you know what? And he may be, like, numbers-wise, he may not be there yet, okay? But if you're going on dudes that I want to see in an all-star game, how can you not vote Zion in?
Here's some guys
I'm with it.
That may not make the team. That may not make the reserve team. I mentioned some people. Anthony Davis. What's your thoughts of him?
Which is crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
At the start of this season, I thought the MVP race was going to be split between LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis started the year with nice numbers. He fulfilled what I thought was my guaranteed prophecy. And then something happened where it all kind of shut down. Like he just kind of powered down. So I don't know. I think he's an all-star though. I think all the Laker faithful out there is going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and he's going to make the all-star team in the West. And actually, you saying that, it's crazy talk.
Christian Wood.
I think Christian Wood deserves to be an all-star, more so than Zion Williamson, but this is a case of name over game. Zion's got the name.
Brandon Ingram.
Brandon Ingram deserves it. I don't think he's going to make it this year.
Now he's hurt. He hasn't played much this year, but he's had a horrible offseason. Karl Anthony Towns. I guess he doesn't play just because he hasn't played enough games.
I love Karl Anthony Towns. I feel bad with everything that's happened with him this year, not just the injuries, but dealing with testing positive for COVID. I would love to see Karl there. In fact, I would give Karl a vote just because I think he's a good dude. I don't think he's going to make it.
And Porzingis doesn't make it this year.
No, Porzingis has been hurt too much. I think Luka's had to carry that team, so he's on the outside looking in.
Well, those are our all-star picks.
Yes,
we're done with this now.
Yes. Is there anybody that you feel is putting up good numbers and should get a look but won't because they're just not quite there yet?
We talked about it before the show. I love LaMelo Ball for Charlotte. I love Haywood for Charlotte. I feel he's comeback player of the year. He's playing unbelievable.
Right. Yeah, he is playing well. I wrote that dude off. I'm not going to lie.
I know you did.
I wrote that guy off.
I know. I mean, there's a lot of guys that I like. I mean, Middleton. I mean, we didn't talk about him at all.
No, we didn't talk about him. And I'll tell you a guy we actually left out in the East that is worth talking about. What do you think about Malcolm Brogdon? No one has mentioned Malcolm Brogdon. That dude has great numbers.
Again, it's a popularity contest. He's not going to be in the team. There's too many other guys. I wish I could put him on. I love him.
Numbers-wise, he's got the numbers.
Right. I agree.
Okay.
To all our people out there watching, please vote NBA.com.
Yeah, let us know what you think. If you agree
even
with
comment.
Our picks,
tell me who you guys want me to vote for.
Yeah, who's that sleeper pick that we didn't even mention? Okay.
Who am I missing?
Call us on our mess.
I like Tyler Hero. I like Jimmy Butler. I didn't say their names yet,
but they've been hurt. I'm going to say no to that.
I like Tyler Hero.
Of any of those guys, I would go Bam Adebayo.
He's a sniper. Sully, I love what you do with your shoes. This segment is called Sully's Vault, and we look at all the shoes you have, all the incredible shoe collection you have.
Not only do I have great jerseys, but I also have great sneakers. And guys, this is how on it we are this week. I don't know if you know about this, but Sotheby's is having an auction, right? Where they are auctioning off a pair of Nike Hyper Dunks made especially for number 44, the great President Barack Obama. 2 pairs were made. I think President Obama has 1 pair. The other pair
You got them.
is
You have
going
the
up
pair.
for auction. No, I don't have those. Here they are right here. Take a look at them. They are beautiful. They got a 44.
Wow.
They've got the presidential seal. I don't know if you've ever played in the Hyperdunks, Ross, but it is a fantastic shoe.
I got to get a pair of those.
They're saying that these are set to auction. They start on Friday at 4:44 p.m. A nod to number 44.
I get
They're expecting them to go for $25,000.
Wow.
Now, I don't have the other pair. I'm pretty sure that Barack himself has those. But what I do have, and this is probably so far the best shoe that you get to see on Run It Back, all right? Just so you know how real it is on this show.
I can't wait.
What I have is a pair. Look at these. Do you see these? Do you see them?
I see them. I can't see.
Let me tell you. They are signed from 2008. Who was a member of the Olympic team, Sean Marion. These are Sean Marion's
UNLV
actual Hyper Dunks.
Wow.
Same ones. And look at these, dude. These are sick. Look, they have the United We Rise right there. Can you see that?
I'm very impressed.
Look, Sean Marion was awesome, okay? Young kids, if you don't know Sean Marion had game.
He played for the Mavericks when they won the championship.
Player shoes.
No, he's great. I love Sean Marion.
When I was on the Jamie Foxx show, gave me a pair of shoes. I cherish them. I don't have Barack Obama's, but I have a member of the team. So I don't know what these are worth, but you know,
you're not selling those. What do you care?
Of course, I'm not selling these.
You're not doing any.
Are you crazy?
You'll be buried in those.
How hard it is to get these?
You'll be buried in those, Suli.
Exactly. I'm gonna try and play in these. I got 11 pairs of socks I can wear.
I forgot to ask you what jersey you're wearing today. I totally forgot.
You know what? Because we were so engrossed in the All-Star talk.
I was so excited to talk about it.
To further validate my first team guard pick, I'm wearing, as you can see, yes, that's right, Steph Curry, the Town jersey.
That's a great jersey. I've never seen that one before. That's a great one.
That's a tribute to Oakland, okay? Where the Warriors used to play before they went to San Francisco. The Warriors do play in a Oakland Forever jersey, where I don't know if you know this, Ross, there's a little bit of controversy that those jerseys sort of falsely represent the spirit of Oakland and the town itself. And this one, the Town jersey, is a better reflection of the true spirit of Oakland and everybody in Oakland. So I'm going Oakland strong.
Okay, you're talking about Oakland. I want to talk about one of Oakland's past players, Kevin Durant, what happened to him on Saturday night. He was
fantastic segue.
So I want to talk about Durant to set it up real quick. Yes. Durant was told before the game he's not going to be playing because of COVID, because one of his friends tested positive. Right. So he shows up.
So he was contact traced.
It's contact traced. So during the game, he didn't start, which broke his record, which he's upset about because Patrick Ewing's record of the most starts in a row is over because of this.
Boss, do we have the tweet? Can we bring up the tweet just so people know?
Yeah, we'll bring in the tweet.
Look at that. You can tell he was mad because he said free me. That is
okay. So let me just explain. So what happened was he actually got in the game as a player. In the third quarter, they said, you got to come out of the game. So he left the game, went to the locker room, and tweeted what you just showed.
Right. Because free me.
Because now he's not
because
playing.
They had him on lockdown.
He's on lockdown until Friday. He's not playing until Friday because of this. And he's like so upset. I mean, he's the first player that ever heard that got upset about it.
As he should be. Like, this is a dude that is a 1,000% baller. You know what I mean? Kevin Durant is at his best when he's on the court, and he knows he is the engine that makes that team go. Yes, they have two other superstars, but it is all about KD, okay? So I'm with him. I actually like the fact, because didn't they say that he had tested negative 3 tests prior to that?
He's test negative 3 tests prior to that. He gets tested twice a day. They test these players. I don't know if you knew that. Mark Cuban told us. Mark Cuban told us that when we interviewed him, that each player from the Dallas Mavericks get tested twice a day.
Right.
Which is crazy. So he tested negative, but because of protocol, he has to sit for at least until Friday. He can't come back. He can't come back to the stadium until Friday. He can't see his team.
That's terrible.
He can't practice. He can't do anything.
That's
which is
terrible.
Just horrible.
And I think that the game really loses out when you take a player of his magnitude and take him out of the game. Look, COVID is real. I don't want to diminish what COVID is all about. It's a hard thing to manage. We're trying to get those vaccines out there. That's why, boss, if you want to really break it down, I think the players should get the vaccine. Just like healthcare workers, they're essential workers. Give them the vaccine, then it's not an issue.
There you go. Sully, Sacramento Kings, they've won 4 in a row. They beat your Clippers pretty bad.
Just going to dig it to me.
LA.
That's one of the reasons why they're not power ranked number 1 anymore.
No.
De'Aaron Fox gave him the business.
Harrison Barnes is playing great. De'Aaron Fox is playing great. Buddy Hield is not even playing that well, and they're still winning.
Right. Marvin Bagley has come back.
Is this team for real? Is this a team we should be worried about?
Has been playing real. I just think they have a young nucleus. Yep. They seem to like each other. I think that there's something good going on there. They're an up and coming team. They're that team that you can't take lightly at all.
Would they be an 8 or 7 seed in your opinion right now?
Right now, are they better than the Warriors? I don't know.
Oh, so it's like I don't know. They could.
I don't know. I can't give them that much, but I do think that you got to show up ready to play, and if you don't, you will take an L to that team.
Last week I watched the Clippers Nets play. That was like a playoff game to me. And
that was like a playoff game. Absolutely.
You watched it too, and
absolutely, that was a fantastic game. That was one of the best games. I usually don't watch games from beginning to end. I have a friend that really doesn't watch NBA. He called me right after. He said, "Ross, I really don't watch much NBA. I watched this game from minute 1 to minute 44, and those guys were all engaged. They had something to play for. You could tell they got their rest the night before. Okay." Right. Those guys came engaged and ready to play. And I saw something in that game. That's where you saw the real Kyrie Irving. Because late in the fourth quarter, they were like, okay, let Kyrie do his thing. Everybody took turns getting their numbers. Here's the mistake that the Clippers made in that game. They tried to just trade buckets with the Nets. And Kyrie Irving did not miss. He made shots from everywhere. And you can't just trade buckets with a team that has that much offensive firepower. It was fun to watch, but I felt like if that's your strategy to gamble against the Brooklyn Nets, you're going to lose. You know what I mean? And they did. But it was a great game. If that ended up being the NBA Finals, I would not be mad at that.
I want to remind our audience to please like, subscribe, press the bell. We'll be here every Monday at 7:00 Pacific time doing the show. Please tell your friends. We're having a great time here. Sully, one more game that I watched on Saturday was Dallas versus Golden State.
That game was phenomenal.
I love watching
That's
Luka.
the reason why
I'm
wearing the Steph Curry jersey.
I mean,
that was a scorer's duel. Here's the thing. Sometimes you want to watch a game to watch two teams go at it, right? You want to see defense. You want to see execution of plays. And other games, you just want to see the two superstars score. That reminded me of one of those Jordan versus Dominique Wilkins games from back in the day. Remember those games where Dominique was like, let me show you that I got game 2, and Jordan would have 35 and Neek would have 29, and they would just be going back and forth. That's exactly what that game was. That game had energy. It was fun. Luka had 46. Am I right about that?
Luka had 46 and Steph
he tied his season
50,
high.
Something, yeah.
Yes. Steph, that's Steph's second game of 50 plus, but that game had everything you wanted. I had no problems with that. That was just a fun, I want to watch two guys alpha male their team and score like crazy. One thing I will say, too, you can tell when Steph is feeling himself because he was doing all this and then he was doing this. You know how you like to do the little point and call people cowboy? He kind of took your cowboy.
He did take the cowboy thing, and I already contacted his people.
I see you, cowboy.
Really quick before we leave, Lakers had a huge problem with Detroit Pistons. I don't know why. They lost to them in Detroit. They played at Staples Center, and they went to double overtime. Why did Detroit Pistons?
I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was all about. LeBron clearly late in that second overtime was like, this is ridiculous. We're not losing to this team. LeBron just willed it to happen. He was like, I got a good bottle of wine. I got to uncrack.
He did say that.
And that was his sole motivation. So he put them to bed. That game was a weird game because it was like you knew the outcome. It was just a matter of getting there eventually. And that
just shows you one thing, and then we'll end the show. But it shows you any NBA team can beat any NBA team anytime this year.
That's
There's
true.
no fans. There's no fans. There's a COVID year. It's really people
so
are sitting
playing
out
for pride.
They really are, and they're playing for jobs next season.
I feel bad for Detroit because they traded away Derrick Rose to the New York Knicks. So he was like one of those dudes that I liked, but I think the Knicks will probably be a better place for him. He at least has a shot to go into the playoffs.
I think you're right. So, Suli, great job. We'll be here next week. I'm Ross the Boss.
This was a fire week of basketball. Ross the Boss, you did your thing.
Make sure you vote.
All-star votes. We'll be back here next Monday. There's going to be a lot of things to talk about. I'll have another jersey and another cool pair of sneakers. There you have it.
Make sure you subscribe.
Guys.
Make sure you press like.
Run It Back is here for you. This is your show.
And press that bell. I'm Ross the Boss. Thanks.
I'm Suli McCullough. Run It Back.
Everyone is happy with the new flavor of Killcliff CBD Strawberry Days. It's clean energy. Makes your days more pleasurable by infusing strawberries right into your drink hole. Look at Sally. Her drink hole is happy. Way to go, Sally. Get the world of tomorrow today at killcliff.com. The biggest no-brainer in the history of drinks.